And welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Hit that like button, subscribe, and let's party. We got Opus in the building. Welcome to the party. So yes, we are doing an impromptu stream here because I was in the car on the way to work today, and I heard the announcement from Ron DeSantis that he is running officially for president in 2024. And I thought that that would be something that made me super excited. And unfortunately, it did not. This is the first time that actually, since being a never Trumper way back in 2015 to being like, Trump's not that bad. I've never been in the position to say that, yeah, I'm probably going to vote for Trump until I heard that speech. So I don't want to drag you along too long. Let's just get into it. So there's a couple of things, they did this on Twitter. So a lot of people are asking, like, why do this on Twitter, in Twitter Spaces? And I think a big part of it was that they were trying to kind of capture some of the magic that Obama had in 2012 when he was able to use Facebook to get to a lot of the people, they just weren't into politics, similar kind of thing. We know that they are trying to do a lot with Twitter Spaces and, they're eventually maybe bringing video, all that kind of stuff. So this was supposed to be a big launch for that, as well as for Ron DeSantis. But I have a clip here from Breaking Points. Before they even got into it, there was issues, and let's just get into it.
I guess it's 7 minutes long.
Oh, wrong one.
I literally have brain and
hey, we got Melty Mind Media. Welcome to the party. I know you heard this speech, and we gonna get into it.
And ear cancer. For the uninitiated, it was a total and a complete disaster. We are not exaggerating.
Yep.
Glitches from the very beginning. We have a little bit of a highlight reel for everybody. Let's take a listen.
So this is before it even begins. Ideally, if you were going to do this Twitter Spaces thing, what you would want is to have somebody big like Elon just start a space and start talking to be like, hey, guess what? We have a special guest. Who could that be? What? Ron DeSantis is here and he's running for president. Oh my God. But of course, that's not what happened. They had this all set up and it just was it just fell flat. So even before the speech itself, this is what was going on. We had, people unmuting themselves. We can do this kind of stuff on my show.
All right, I'm pleased to introduce two individuals who've done more to loosen the. All right, sorry about that. We've got so many people here that I think we are kind of melting the servers.
Melting the servers. There was about 100,000 people there. That's not melting the servers.
Which is a good sign. Might have surprised many, but not those of us who've known and worked with Elon for nearly.
This is when Elon unmutes himself.
His commitment to freedom, and his willingness to put his money where his mouth is. Upset the narrative.
Let's see. So, here we go. Yeah, I think so.
Just to simplify this, there's 382,000 people in the room.
All right, great. So let's see.
Great. So this is a presidential announcement.
Yeah, I think we've got just a massive number of people online, so it's
nope,
servers are straining somewhat.
Not true.
All right, we're just reallocating more server capability to be able to handle the load here. It's really going crazy.
Nope.
So obviously very excited to have Governor DeSantis make this
again. That's not me. That is the video. Or the space.
All right, I think we're broadcasting. Man, I think we melted the internet there.
Yeah, that was insane. Sorry, we
definitely did not. So I mean, we got Mark Peterson in the building with the $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Of course, you guys know every single super chat comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you, Mark. What has Mark said? How you doing, my new friend? I am doing fantastic. How are you doing, friend? Said, I'm glad I caught your show. SNL can't write this good. Thank you. Much appreciated. But yeah, it was that bad before they even started. So I want to check out the actual speech and his release video. But real quick, let's get to some of these. Yeah, Opa saying it had all the charm of a wet sponge. Ron Low T. Yeah. Opa says, I do think it was a deal to get Musk a Musk endorsement, and I wouldn't underestimate the amount of influence Musk commands. It's a gamble, but it might work out. Well, it might have worked out if it didn't, if it didn't go down the way that it did. Because even, Elon himself is not a very charismatic individual. He's very intelligent. He's very smart. He can be funny, but he's very monotone. And like, this is not what you want. So let's take a look at how they reacted to it on Timcast IRL last night. This is perfect. It's just perfect.
Long. And before I start,
this is the actual speech is 7 minutes long.
I just want to mention we have a super chat from where are we at? Who said it? Beagle Cakes says, I don't know who has more charisma, Mark Zuckerberg or Ron DeSantis. So I mean, it's a little biased start, but let's just play the video for you.
Zuckerberg, because he can roll jujitsu.
Yeah.
I understand that you may have an announcement to make. We've got, I think,
again, already with the energy. I understand you have an announcement.
I think a record audience assembled here. Probably the biggest room that's probably ever been assembled online. What would you like?
That was such a sad statement.
Yeah.
There's 102 people listening, 102,000. And is it probably the biggest online? What do you say, ever?
Assembled here. Probably the biggest room that's probably ever been assembled online. What would you like to tell them?
Well, I
Silence.
am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback. Look, we know our country's going in the wrong direction. We see it with our eyes and we feel it in our bones. Our southern borders collapse. Drugs are pouring into the country.
True.
Our cities are being hollowed out by
Oh, come on. Don't do this.
spiking crime. The federal government's making it harder for the average family to make ends meet and to attain and maintain a middle-class lifestyle. And our president, well, he lacks vigor, flounders in the face of our nation's challenges, and he takes his cues from the woke mob. I don't think it has to be this way. American decline is not inevitable. It is a choice. And we should choose a new direction, a path that will lead to American revitalization.
Yep.
We must restore.
Hey, what's good? We got Zach in the building. Welcome to the party. We are just checking out Ron DeSantis's terrible announcement speech.
Sanity to our nation. This means embracing fiscal and economic sanity. Stop pricing hardworking Americans out of a good standard of living through inflationary borrow, print, and spending policies. And please embrace American energy independence. This also means replacing the woke mind virus with reality, facts, and enduring principles. Merit must trump identity politics. We must return normalcy to our communities. America's a sovereign country.
Anybody else
our
bored?
borders must be respected. We cannot have foreigners pouring into our country illegally by the millions. We cannot allow drug cartels to poison our population with fentanyl. Public deserves safe communities, and law and order must be maintained in American cities. We can't have inmates running the asylum, and we must reject attacks on the men and women of law enforcement. We also must reestablish integrity in our institutions.
Integrity is important.
This includes the military. I'm proud to be a Navy veteran, an Iraq veteran. I revere our services, but when revered institutions like those in our military are more concerned with matters not central to the mission, whether it's global warming or gender ideology and pronouns.
Oh, I definitely agree. You guys know how much I talk about gender
pronouns. We need
to
eliminate these distractions, and we need to get focused on the core mission.
Agreed.
We also cannot have true constitutional government if the most significant issues are decided by the whims of unelected bureaucrats rather than the people's elected representatives. Reestablishing integrity in our institutions means we must reinvigorate our constitutional system by returning the government to its rightful owners, we the people. That was just, come on.
It's still going.
Without representation. Truth needs to be our foundation.
Oh my gosh, it's only been 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Virtue. And in Florida, we proved it could be done. We chose facts over fear,
Ron
education
DeSantis
over
fest.
indoctrination,
Dude,
and
people are
law
calling
and
him
order
Ron
over
DeSantis
rioting
fest.
and disorder. We
The
held
words are
line
great,
when
right?
freedom
The words are
hung in the
great. The
balance.
delivery,
And we're
But it's like an
thriving as a
AI
result.
saying it.
Florida's the
exactly. This is
nation's
like tech.
fastest
It's not even like an
growing
AI. It's
state.
like a
We're
text to
number
speech,
one
like
in net
Microsoft Sam.
in-migration,
To be fair,
number
AI
one in
probably
new
would have had
business
more inflection.
formations.
Yeah.
Recently
Facts.
ranked number
Jeez.
one in education. We have a 50-year low crime rate and one of the lowest tax and debt per capita in America. But we also understand governing is not entertainment. It's not about building
It certainly is not entertainment. This, for sure, is not entertainment.
a brand or virtue signaling.
He needed
He's
a
wrong.
It is
warm-up.
about
That's just
delivering
wrong.
He needed a
results.
lead-in.
And our results in Florida have been second to none. We can and we must deliver big results for America. I pledge to be an energetic executive that will
An energetic executive? He didn't really just say that, right? He didn't really just say that.
deliver big results for America. I pledge to be an energetic executive that will take
Oh, that woke me up.
Biden's
That was
pursued
great.
inflationary policies that are hurting working people. We will reverse those policies and we'll build an economy where working Americans can achieve a good standard of living.
And I'm not sure if we already passed it or if it's coming up, but he uses the word Trump in his announcement speech. He says something trumps this. It's like, bro, that's your number one opponent.
Biden's opened the southern border and allowed massive amounts of drugs to pour into the country.
Again, agreed with
we'll
all this.
shut down the border, construct the border wall, and hold the drug cartels
Oh, we're building walls.
accountable. Biden's embraced medical authoritarianism, such
bored
as
all the panel
unconstitutional
members are.
COVID vax mandates. We will ensure that those violations of liberty can never happen again. Biden's allowed woke
And they're right. It
ideology to
sounds
drive his
worse.
agenda. We will never surrender.
Like, if you put this speech, exactly this speech, into an AI, the AI would be better than this. Opa said, so sad he should have plastered a stadium in Florida with American flags and packed it with Floridians. Invited all the cops who moved from New York. Exactly. That is what you need. The fact that there's no audience, that he's just talking, there's no energy to feed off. And you can feel that. You can feel that there's no energy that is coming out of this. That's why it's so boring. It's so boring. So I do want to talk about it. And I definitely want to get your guys' thoughts. I just, it's the president's speech. We should get all the way through it, or potential presidential speech.
Surrender to the woke mob, and we will leave woke ideology in the dustbin of history.
Come on.
Biden's also politicized the
How much
military
time
and
has it
caused
been, Tim?
recruiting to plummet. We will eliminate
Halfway.
ideological
2 more minutes.
agendas from
All
our
right.
military,
We got this.
focus the military on the core
We're
mission,
politicos.
and we will reverse the poor recruiting
We care about
trends.
this.
Finally, Biden's weaponized the power of the
Hey,
administrative
we got Harley.
state
He's a cool
to
What's
advance
good,
the
Harley?
agenda. We will
Welcome to the
reconstitutionalize
party.
the executive branch, and
Unfortunately,
we'll
Ron
bring
DeSantis,
the administrative
Ron
state to
DeSnooze
heel. Now, you can't do any
is
of
harshing
that
our vibe.
if you don't win. There is no substitute for victory. We must end the culture of losing that has infected the Republican Party in recent years. The tired dogmas of the
agreed.
past are inadequate for a vibrant future. We must look forward, not backwards. We need the courage to lead, and we must have the strength to win. And to voters who are participating in this primary process, my pledge to you is this. If you nominate me,
That's a good
you
point.
can set your clock to January
That's a good
20th,
point.
2025 at high noon. Because on the west
I'm gonna
side
come
of
back
the
to
U.S.
this.
Capitol, I will be taking the oath of office as the 47th president
I'm
of
just
the
gonna play this
United
video.
States. No excuses. I will get the job done.
Yep.
Now, these past few years have given me
We're
a new
almost done. Almost
appreciation
done. I
for
want
the
you to hear the whole thing,
fragility
just
of our
so,
freedoms.
we're
I
being
never thought I
honest
would see
and-
things in America that we saw during the COVID-19 pandemic. But our founding fathers were keenly aware of the fragility of freedom. When they framed our Constitution, they came armed with having studied the history of every republic and the history of mankind. And they noticed that
We're
all
almost
of
done. We're almost done. Oh, come on. And then it breezes.
those experiments only had one thing in common, and it was this. Every single one of them had failed.
Actually, let's do this. Let's just break it up with the question. So Oba says, I think you should have had a strong VP chosen ahead of time. And I think that is a fantastic idea, especially because he's just so monotone and low energy with this. If he had somebody else there with him that happened to be somebody who was more charismatic, and regardless of Twitter spaces or no Twitter spaces, he's definitely going to need somebody who's going to bolster that aspect. Not just because he's, not as excitable, but because Trump is so excitable. He definitely needs that, that energy. Hey, we got Zippy in the building. Welcome, Zippy. So as bad as it is, still better than where Trump is now. Trump only has 50 to 55% on the polls, and that's hella weak for all the hype. Well, I'm sure that's going to change after all this. Melton Miami said, this is torture. I couldn't make it 4 minutes. Harley says, Ron is a psycho, so he'll make a great president. Okay, and exactly, yeah, because of this specifically, he is trending upwards. And a lot of people were waiting for, myself included, were waiting for this speech to see, okay, what are you, how are you really going to do stepping out of just the governor role and into the actual federal playing field? And we got this.
And so they knew it fell to our country, the United States of America, to determine whether people could really govern themselves.
The conversation they
Could we have a
really
society based on the idea that our rights are God-given, not government-granted, and that society functions based on the rule of law, not the rule of individual men? And when Dr. Benjamin Franklin walked out of that convention, he was asked, did you deliver a republic or a monarchy? He said, a republic if you can keep it.
But like even that line, did you deliver a republic or a monarchy? And he said, a republic, if you can keep it. Why are you not doing that? Like, I'm here talking to nobody, but I feel like I'm pretty entertaining, I think, right?
They knew freedom didn't run on autopilot.
I like the emphasis on you. That's the only thing he
would have a
emphasized.
responsibility to safeguard freedom, and it's our responsibility to do so at this important juncture in our nation's history. We have a lot of work to do to ensure the country gets back on track. I ask everybody listening to please join me on this mission.
The problem is, Zippy, that it should be, but it's not. It's not. We need that rock star BS, to use your words, that's what it is. If we had the political landscape where people just cared about policy, then this would be fantastic. But it seems like the whole idea of Trump was non-presidential, and him being so closely connected to Trump in people's minds that maybe he wanted to put on this very presidential and buttoned up type of thing, but it just fell flat. Well, Harley, I mean, the fact that he was the best on COVID out of anybody in the country, so that's the only thing that he really has to stand on, because everything else is essentially the same with Trump. So that's the only thing he's got. Oh, so I got an email from DeSantis within 10 minutes asking me to make donations. Come on, man. Anti-free speech. What did he say? It was anti-free speech. All right. Couple more, like 30 seconds after this.
Please invest in our campaign by going to rondesantis.com and making a donation. Thank you. God bless. And I look forward to the discussion.
Oh, man.
I don't know that he does.
All right. So he did not ban anything. He just said they can't be in schools. You can still buy it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and wherever you want. You just, similar to Playboy, you can't have it in children's libraries. Read stuff. So the before they get into their discussion, again, I just want to underline how bad this was. Number one, because they announced it beforehand. So everybody's sitting there waiting. Number two, then you have the Twitter space is not working properly. So it's just, it's a bad look for not just DeSantis, not just Elon, but the entire, the entire campaign. That, like, what are you guys doing? Did you not practice this? Did you not think that you had to do this, that, or the other? Did you not think that maybe you want to practice this speech and, go through some revisions of when you should emphasize this or that? It's just crazy. It's just crazy. So let's get into some of their conversation and break down what they thought of it.
Look, I want to turn it off, but it's like a presidential announcement. So I thought, like, for the sake of hearing it, people.
Good. You should be allowed to have your personal beliefs. And if you don't believe that it is right to cut off somebody's genitals, then you shouldn't be forced to do it.
People need to be able to hear it. Mm-hmm. But dude, yeah, I couldn't believe it when he got to the part about a republic if you can keep it. I'm like, listen, man, I like Ron DeSantis as a politician. He has great policies, he's doing a great job. But holy crap, did they not give this guy 1 minute of media training? Did they not have any kind of campaign coach be like, go watch Captain America one time? And just watch any Hollywood movie where the protagonist gives a speech about saving the world. Just that. In fact, watch SNL as they mock that. Look, man, DeSantis people are probably going to get mad because they like him, but I'm not pulling punches. I like Elon. I like DeSantis.
And I'm right with Tim about talking about this in a way that, is honest. I was saying this whole time that I would love to have a reason to not vote for Trump because I don't really like the guy. I don't like what he does to our discourse. I don't like all of that. But this is not going to beat a Biden. Even Biden, it's not going to beat a Biden.
But that had negative charisma. Negative.
I agree. Look, I like DeSantis a lot. I think everything he was saying there was spot on, every single word. But I'll be honest, I was literally bored to tears. I mean, it's remarkable to me that someone who said so many things that were so true that would have gotten a standing ovation from any group of conservatives who are outside of the establishment, where they just delivered with a little bit more energy. You could,
again. So who was saying just fill up a stadium, do a rally. Get the people there. Show not only that you have this policy platform to offer, but that you have excitement. You have other people who want you to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and we're going to stop all the woke mob, and I'm just going to take talking points from every slightly right-leaning independent YouTuber and say exactly the same thing that they say every day. Like, this ain't it.
Be so boring when addressed in such a plain, monotone way. I think that you're right. He needs media training. Again, I'm not trying to be harsh on the guy. There's a lot about DeSantis which is really, really great. He has to fix this.
Yep. Hey, we got Tom Brokaw in the building. Welcome. Says I still support DeSantis. I can't do the emotional labor of dealing with the next crazy thing Trump will say. It's like waiting for jump scares in a movie. Well, I like jump scares. But welcome to the party. Opa said, at least Trump makes us laugh almost every time he's out there talking. Exactly. Because he has that energy. And this goes all the way back to, Zippy was talking about, we don't need this rock star BS. But the fact is we do need this rock star BS because without it, people will not pay attention. Even all of us here who care so much about this stuff. Tuned out. So we do need rock star stuff. You just need it to be covered, or you need to cover or underneath it. I mean, you need to have all of the exact same things that DeSantis said in this, but you have to dress it up so people care because they don't. Hard said it's fine to have personal beliefs, but refusing someone treatment because they don't share your beliefs sounds stupid considering your job is to serve people regardless of their beliefs. No, there's something called the Hippocratic Oath, and cutting off a working piece of somebody's body is doing harm. First, do no harm. So he says, at the end of the day, I will wait a couple weeks before the election. Oh, absolutely. Everybody should be doing this. We're covering stuff that's going on as it's happening, but the important thing is to realize, and I think they're going to bring up that at this point in the 2016 election, or leading up to the 2016 election, it was foregone conclusion that it was going to be Giuliani and Clinton. So there's a lot that has to happen yet, but this is an important moment. Unfortunately, a importantly bad moment for DeSantis. Tom Brokaw says Trump consistently polls worse against Biden than DeSantis. That's not what I heard. Open said, yeah, DeSantis can come back from this. I'm not counting him out. Me neither. And that's exactly what Seamus is talking about right now.
Has to fix this.
I really don't want to play this video for you because it's just, I don't think Ron DeSantis has the personality for being president. But for the sake of just letting you guys watch it for yourselves, this is Ron DeSantis's tweeted out official announcement video.
Our border is a disaster. Crime infests our cities. The federal government makes it harder for...
He sounds like he's happy about this stuff happening. Crime is infesting our borders.
...families to make ends meet, and the president flounders. But decline is a choice. Success is attainable, and freedom is worth fighting for.
Boring.
Righting the ship requires restoring sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions.
It's just so bland.
Truth must be our foundation, and common sense can no longer be an uncommon virtue.
And it's so like blocky. It can no longer be an uncommon virtue. Hey, we got Lars and Rune in the building. Welcome to the party. That he didn't say anything that he hasn't said before. What was the point? I kind of like DeSantis, how he kept Florida open during COVID. I went, nice. But in his per Smash bill in Florida is just too strict for me. Yeah, and I mean, there's, at this point, we're not really digging in and saying like, okay, is this perfect? Is this person perfect or not perfect? Nobody's going to be perfect, and it is going to be who has the least bad stuff and the most good stuff, because they're all going to have good stuff and they're all going to have bad stuff. Not too familiar with that, but I assume just completely not allowed. Harley said, where are you getting, what do you think so what are they could refute, where have you read that tattoos are good? And again, you're the resident fact checker, so educate me. But where is it written that tattoos are included in your beliefs? Oh, 6 weeks. Yeah, I think that's perfect.
In Florida, we proved that it can be done.
The music's bad.
We chose facts over fear, education over indoctrination, law and order over rioting and disorder. We held the line when freedom hung in the balance. We showed that we can and must revitalize America. We need the courage to lead and the strength to win. I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead our great American comeback.
To lead our great American comeback. If I was Ron DeSantis, I'm Ron DeSantis, and I'm running for president to lead the great American comeback. Let's go! Something like that. What are we talking about? Exactly. Oh, hit the nail on the head. Most boomer commercial ever. And that probably speaks a lot to what what was the mentality behind this, that maybe he's thinking that the younger people are going to go with Trump no matter what, and so he's just kind of trying to clean up with the older never Trumpers. So if you want, take your time, bro. Let's finish this up and see what they got.
I'm gonna say something shockingly offensive to all DeSantis fans.
Oh boy.
Joe Biden's got better presence and presentation than Ron DeSantis does.
Yup. Did you miss it?
I'm gonna say something shockingly offensive to all DeSantis fans.
Oh boy.
Joe Biden's got better presence and presentation than Ron DeSantis does.
Come on.
Now hold on there a minute before you freak out. Joe Biden does have a mental affliction, which gives Joe Biden the makes
it entertaining. Yeah, it makes it entertaining.
Hey, we got Kerm in the building. Welcome to the party. So definitely should have done a normal rally and streamed it exclusively to YouTube or Rumble. That's right. Dan Bongino is very much in the sphere of politics. Why not use Rumble? We know the Rumble infrastructure, maybe would have had similar problems, but not to the level of, that boring. At least you have a visual. Welcome, brother. Tom Brogo said the guy doesn't even walk to the right spot. They all are. And exactly, Zippy. That's why you need to be fake, because that is what people want.
When Biden says Batacaf care, tune in on Shabbat pressure, okay, like we get it. That's incomprehensible, mumbled garbage. But at the very least, let me play a little bit for you.
Sanity to our society, normalcy to our communities, and integrity to our institutions. Truth must be our foundation.
Now imagine how Joe Biden would deliver that.
Yeah.
We got to bring some integrity,
man.
some truth.
You gotta bring
emotions. Come on, man.
Walking
the
around,
thing is,
staring off.
Does anybody disagree? That Joe Biden, the Batacaf care, the true and honest professor guy, would have done a better announcement than this? I said, why would they film him walking away? That's a good point too. Yeah, like, you guys. Maybe it's the whole thing of like trying to be a leader, like follow me. I don't know, but that's also a weird look. Kerm said, did you see lads attack the Trump ad made about the Twitter space? Trump's gotten a hold of AI voices and he's too powerful now. Yeah, very, very bizarre.
in the corner.
I think I mentioned this before the show, but I think DeSantis needs to be able to announce that he's running for president with at least the same amount of energy that Joe Biden announced he had hairy legs with. Right?
Seriously.
I mean, we need some actual spirit behind these statements. Again,
I got hairy legs.
I got hairy legs. Like he meant it. I was like, I believe you, Joe.
They're very hairy.
Super weird. You're very creepy, but I do believe your legs are hairy. Okay, there's some level of enthusiasm you need, and part of the reason that this is so difficult for people is because DeSantis and Trump, even though they're rivals, they've been associated with each other in many ways, right?
So that's where I think maybe there was a lot of the desire to be like, okay, I want to seem, just thumbs up when you're ready, see how far we can separate ourselves from the Trump MAGA crowd. So I want to bring in my friend here, Melted Mind Media, to the party. Welcome, brother. What is good?
I'm doing great. I'm doing definitely better than Ron DeSantis.
Oh, so who are you? What do you do? Why don't you tell the people?
I am Melted Mind Media, and I help you fight the media that melts your mind. And I make YouTube at Melted Mind Media. Please come and join me.
Beautiful. I'll grab that link in just a second. So, what so far? What are your thoughts on the whole thing?
It's like Ron DeSantis could have done a huge thing like Obama did back in 2008 when he ran. Had all of his supporters there. He went in slow. Like he slowly built up. Like, I stand here today underneath the shadow of the building that Abraham Lincoln freaking tried to save this union, and then like he slowly built up, and you hear the crowd cheer and get excited. And like, I'm not a fan of him. At the time I was a fan of Obama because, I was young, I was 8 years old, but now I understand his policy. I'm not the biggest fan of Obama, but still I hear that speech and you get goosebumps, dude. It's just
exactly
you hear the excitement.
And that's the thing, is that even, young or not, the idea that you want to feel excited about this, that just was not there. All right, so let's see. Because I really like the conversation that they had here.
The establishment has smeared DeSantis in somewhat similar ways to the ways they smeared Trump. Before they started running against each other, their bases were similar. But the thing you got to remember is Trump was an outsider. DeSantis is a politician, even though he's not in line with the establishment on many of the things that they want him to be in line with them on. He's still a politician, and he has that boring political way of speaking. And I would go as far as to say it's actually worse for him than it is a lot of other politicians. So part of it is we have this expectation sent by Trump that we should have a leader who's really going to be charismatic and energetic. And also the fact that DeSantis is like even more boring than most other politicians are when he speaks, even though I like what the guy does, even though he's very much impressed me. I mean, one of the things he said earlier on quite a long time ago is that he didn't want to be in a political foxhole with anyone who wasn't pro-life. I think that's fantastic. I mean, I think that is fantastic. There's a lot he does that's phenomenal, but man, you gotta tune the energy up, man. Turn the energy up.
So I have his quote.
Low energy.
He said, but we know our country is going in the wrong direction. We see it with our own eyes and we feel it in our bones. I am running for president of the United States to lead our great American comeback. If you were to imagine Joe Biden saying that, he'd say something like, we know our country's going in the wrong direction. We see it with our own eyes. Come on, man. We feel it in our bones. Granted, he'd probably say, we feel it in our bigums.
Yeah, pressure.
I mean, agree, disagree? Like, how are we at a place where we're saying Biden speaks better than anyone besides John Fetterman? Welcome to 2023.
It is, but there's I'm not trying to say that Joe Biden conveys ideas properly.
No.
But the emotions in those ideas.
He's been doing a lot longer.
He has a lot of big feelings. Yeah, good old
John.
John.
Running big events. We run some of the biggest events at Turning Point. And shout out, we have we just announced that Trump's going to be speaking at our big action conference.
Right, so we actually started this in the middle because I wanted to get to the actual thing, but they have an article here at the beginning.
All right, here's the official story from the Daily Mail. Biggest fail in campaign launches in history. Ron DeSantis is mocked for shambolic Twitter room presidential announcement with Elon Musk. that crashes 5 times and leaves users bamboozled. Yeah, it was around 6 o'clock. A few minutes before 6, I get the notification because Elon is about to start this Twitter space. We're really excited to hear this. I was real excited to hear it. And it started late and then wasn't working. And a lot of people, man, I got to tell you, I like Elon Musk. He does great work. I like Ron DeSantis. He does great work. But I am not going to pull punches on this one. The obvious mistakes they were making, they did not properly plan for this. I have no idea how it came off so bad. For one, I understand if there's more people than you expect, but this is a presidential announcement. Getting hundreds of thousands of people was obvious. When we had Steven Crowder on this show, we had about 200,000 viewers. Okay. Now, if you're going to have Ron DeSantis and Elon Musk, you got to prepare for that.
Yeah. Even if you just have one of them making a huge announcement, that's going to bring a lot of people. With both of them, and it's not just any big announcement, it's a presidential run. How were you not prepared for this?
It's any modern media that, like, it's with video games and everything. It's you plan on making a bunch of money from this or doing whatever, and then you underestimate the amount. I would double whatever you think's going to be there. You better double what you think just so it runs good. You don't want people come like when I first tried to join that, I saw it was 550,000 people were waiting to get in, 9,000 listening. I came back 10 minutes later and it was down to 100,000 people listening.
Damn.
And that was it.
People were just bored. People were just like, okay, I get it. You know, I listen to Ben Shapiro. I listen to Tim Pool. I listen to all these people. He's just saying the things that they all say all the time. And then ending it with, and I'm going to fix it all.
What was the announcement though? It was already announced earlier that he was going to running for president. He was announced.
I mean, that's just a like a legal thing. There has to be an official announcement. So, like, you know, we knew before a lot of people run with that they're going to run, but there has to be an official date.
Yeah.
Presume they did to the best of their abilities, but Twitter wasn't able to handle it. But here's the thing. A lot of people were saying, oh, you know, the servers were overloading. I understand that happens. No. Look, some of the problem was, like, the main host guy was like he muted himself randomly. And I don't think he noticed. He was talking, the mid-sentence just mute. And then Elon unmuted himself while the other guy was talking, so you got an echo because they were sitting next to each other. I'm like, dude, those are production mistakes, not technical errors. And if this was done on YouTube, it probably would have had substantially more live viewers.
Mm-hmm.
I think DeSantis was going for a big bang gimmick.
That's exactly what I said. A big bang gimmick. Well, I didn't say exactly that, but that is what he was going for. And that's why he didn't go on YouTube. Rumble, I think, would have had the exact same effect, except better. And even if you want to do something digital, figure out a way to do a Discord room where everybody can like the after stage show that we have in the Indian Jesus Discord server where the party never ends. Join below. It is free. But we can go and, you can have people being, part of the conversation. And obviously you don't want people talking over DeSantis, but that was just not the way to do it.
We'll do this on Twitter Spaces with Elon. It's huge for us, but they weren't ready for it. And it really pulled a lot of the wind out of their sails. Now, there's a lot of things we can talk about in terms of Ron DeSantis as a candidate. But, what do you guys think?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. These are technical problems that should have been sorted out long ahead of time. It's kind of perplexing whenever you see a massive campaign that's well funded and has a lot of
computers crashing
backing behind it fail at something so basic. I mean, it happens to the best of us. Everybody makes mistakes, but it's just such a lost opportunity.
I heard that it was because they were using Musk's account and because he has so many followers that caused an issue. I don't know how true that is. That's just something I read. So I don't know.
But I mean,
it was boomer stuff.
Matter. Right. It shouldn't matter. I mean, if they just did it on YouTube, they'd had 1 million plus viewers and it would have run fine.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
or Rumble.
This was almost Klobuchar Blizzard like level, right? Let's be real, Klobuchar Blizzard level. It was near that, but
do you remember that? The Klobuchar Blizzard? I don't remember.
Wait, Klobuchar is
Amy Klobuchar?
Amy Klobuchar.
She ran.
What'd she run for? That's
for
how. She
The
ran for
president.
Oh, is that?
Yeah. I don't know.
When did she run against Trump?
Yeah. But
Blizzard.
I don't know.
I think
Not
was
even-
that. I think it was.
Yeah,
she was outside
there.
trying to
There's
do it. In a
Oh, gotcha.
Now they're getting roasted. It is funny though that
I did remember that.
at first the media was like, "Oh, it's stupid. It's going to fizzle." Then it got so much attention that it crashed. It's a lot of people,
Yeah,
man. Don't get me
yeah.
wrong.
I think that it was it would have been a good thing had it gone properly. I think that the fact that that DeSantis
Yeah,
has
he's a
totally been ignoring the legacy media. I think that's a good thing.
right.
Yeah, that was another big piece of this, is that we know that I guess the GOP in general, even with Fox News, is not really aligned with the conservative voters. You know, often we talk about the difference between the Democratic politicians and the liberal voters, and the Republican politicians and the conservative voters. And so I do think another part of wanting to do this on Twitter was trying to avoid Fox News and CNN and the spin that they would automatically do. You know, we just saw Trump. They cut off the last 20 minutes of his speech, and again, no, okay, yeah. So I think that was partly why they did that as well. Opa said, "Didn't DeSantis have a really good governor ad last cycle? What the hell happened? It's a different game. There are levels to this."
A Florida man will find a crazy ad enjoyable. He probably doesn't think your normal American will find his normal boomer voter is not going to find a lot of those ads enjoyable. Probably.
True.
I also think that it's good because it kind of puts the legacy media on notice. Obviously, when you've got organizations like Vanity Fair running that headline they did where they say that they should have been brought David Duke or whatever.
Oh, I was dying.
You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Did you see that one? There was a headline that DeSantis is announcing with Elon Musk because apparently David Duke wasn't available.
What?
You remember that whole thing with them trying to tie David Duke, the KKK guy, to Donald Trump. And so Vanity Fair is like, well, I guess he wasn't available. Like, what are you talking about? Like just reaching.
Ridiculous, of course. And the overall tone from the establishment media, the legacy media, is, ridiculous. So for conservatives to go to them and even present an opportunity for them to cover is almost silly, because they're going to say, oh, well, you're just a racist Nazi, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So there's no reason to talk to him.
When the Twitter space got to around 460,000 people, it was crashing. It was crashing well before that. But I got in right when it started, and then rapidly it rises. I tweeted out, looks like 460K might be the limit. This Twitter user, Lofty Pixels, responded, YouTube had 750,000 live viewers for PlayStation Showcase today, LOL, and posted this video from...
So that's very obvious that it wasn't, we're just breaking the internet. There's too many people here. I mean, that was a good thing to say in the moment, because what else are you going to do? But fake news.
Well, I think when he said like a room, like this is the biggest room, I think he meant, because what those are called, like what they were doing is called a Twitter room. So I think he meant that
as opposed to a Twitter space.
I thought. Oh, I meant, did he say biggest? Yeah, I meant space. Sorry, Twitter space. That's called. It's like he said this is the biggest space on the internet right now.
Well, he said room. He said this is the biggest room on the internet. So I mean, and he did say on the internet, not on Twitter or anything like that. And I mean, it's just a little thing to cover. It's like, we're breaking the internet, but really not. Isn't Spaces still in beta technically? I'm not really sure. I don't really use it like that. Do you?
I don't. I barely use Twitter, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I've been, and because I saw Nuance Bro in a couple spaces, I just hopped in and I got to talk to him a little bit. But other than that, then
I bet you have to pay. I bet you have to pay to start a space. You probably got to pay the $8 to get. Because I've not seen one besides this one and that first one that Elon did. Those are
weird. Like, why do you? I don't get it. Like, I mean, I know everybody has their different platform and they use them differently. I guess if Twitter's your main thing, then Twitter. But then why not have video? Everything else has video. YouTube has video. Rumble has video. Discord has video. Snapchat, TikTok, it's all video. People want to see things. But
I should have tested if on my phone you could close it, because if you can't even close Twitter, like close your phone screen. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
But yeah, so this let's.
460K might be the limit. This Twitter user Lofty Pixels responded, YouTube had 750,000 live viewers for PlayStation Showcase today, LOL, and posted this video from PlayStation that had no problem with this.
Okay.
Let me show
I thought they were saying that they did that on Twitter Spaces.
you some of the reactions we got. We've got Donald Trump Jr. saying #disaster. Yikes, man. Just giving ammunition.
That's a good one.
Yup.
That's a good one.
That's better than desanctimonious.
Yeah.
Way better. Seriously, way better. And that's Trump Jr. And then I think I got one more. Here we go. David Wolf tweets, failure to launch crashed. Ron DeSantis 2024. And sad faces from Ron and Elon. Look,
That
like
has to be
CGI.
AI generated, bro.
Yeah.
How do we do this? How do they
what-
look so good?
Bruh, when I can figure out how they do this, my thumbnails are gonna be baller.
AI, right?
Well, I mean,
quick.
they're taking, they're not just taking a swing at DeSantis, they're taking a swing at Musk because of the Twitter thing and the whole rocket crashing, making the link to SpaceX and stuff,
Well, you brought up something interesting. I think it might have screwed up everything if it was Elon's account that screwed everything up and it switched over to David Sachs.
That's what I heard.
It changed the whole vibe of the whole thing where it wasn't like Elon asking DeSantis questions. It just it became like David Sachs. I got in the middle of it.
When it first launched, Elon was the host. Then DeSantis, then I think Sachs joined.
Yeah.
And they both had speaking privileges. And one of the technical problems was that while Sachs was speaking, Elon unmuted his phone.
And this is what we heard from the Breaking Points thing.
And they're sitting next to each other, so you start hearing a feedback loop. And then I'm just like,
stuff.
But for Elon to do that, why did you unmute your account? What are you doing here, man?
Well, then it became David Sachs asking all the questions. And
but it was supposed to be.
And it wasn't supposed to be. Right?
No, it was supposed to be.
Oh, it was supposed to be.
I mean, look.
See, and people don't even understand what even this was supposed to be in the first place. Like, this was just botched from top to bottom. From top to bottom.
They might say, oh, it was supposed to be Elon. I don't see that. Why bring in Sachs at all? He was brought in before DeSantis.
Yeah.
So isn't he like, what is he, like a British journalist or something?
No, I mean he was like COO of PayPal, I think.
Oh, okay.
But
how is he relevant?
He's because he's not relevant to DeSantis. He's relevant to being Musk's friend because they co-made a PayPal together.
Again, what does that have to do with DeSantis? That's just all right.
If I was able to interview someone, you don't think I'd be like, hey, can my buddy the Indian Jesus could come on and join this interview?
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. If you get an interview with Ron DeSantis or Elon Musk, do not try to bring friends.
Dude, they're not gonna stay like 5 minutes, bro.
Go get yours.
I mean, the whole thing was sold as like Elon asking the questions, right? Like, even like we were going to the war room.
Elon hosting a space with a special.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the Elon interview type thing, and
That's
it didn't
what
really happen.
That's the impression I was under, is that it was going to be just like and I didn't know necessarily the format, but I thought it was going to be Elon and Ron DeSantis having like a podcast type discussion or a specific interview, and it just wasn't like that.
I just don't see Elon Musk as the interviewing type. Like you definitely like he's not even the get interview type. It takes him 20 minutes to answer some questions. Like sits there.
I mean, Rogan was bad. Rogan, on Rogan. I mean, even watching at 2 times speed, I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But the
Did it crash?
Obu says the more I think about it, the more I think this was all about endorsements. Yep. And so that brings up a good point about how this isn't done. It's not like Ron DeSantis is done. It's just like, this is a bad moment that needs to be addressed. And like, this is coming from somebody who wants to be able to vote for somebody other than Trump, hopefully DeSantis, because he will be legitimately the better person. But as of right now, it looks like that is not the case. And as I was saying before, this is the first time that I'm like, okay, it is Trump's vote to lose. My vote is Trump's vote to lose at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Until this morning when I heard this, or before I heard this, I was like, I don't know. I really like Vivek. I don't think he could do well. I like DeSantis, but Trump's got the not incumbent, but he's Trump's revenge. Everybody's gonna be, and I didn't really know, and I'm not fully MAGA right now, but it's just the point that you have to constantly be understanding where you stand in the whole thing, so that as the next thing that happens, then you know how to fold that into all that came before it.
you can't be fully MAGA. Like having to support a lot of the things Donald
Never
Trump
go
says.
full MAGA.
Yeah, never go full MAGA. They freaking it's like you can't endorse because Donald Trump says so many things that don't go together, like they're complete opposites. So you be like, I agree with Donald Trump 100% of the time. Well, you crisscross the line a lot because you'll be like, I hate he's because give it like a year. He's gonna be like, oh, Ron DeSantimonious, blah blah. He's gonna be like Ron the Titan Monius. Freaking, he's gonna be like, Ron's my best friend. We just had a little rough spot.
And that's politics, baby. So Tom Brokaw says, I actually thought Twitter would be airing a live video feed of a rally with DeSantis. Twitter Spaces is actually inherently low energy for an event like this. Exactly. 100% agree that with no interaction from people, that's why they do political rallies in the first place.
This is a little bit it not having a video feed, so it was already crashing with super low people. Not having video might be a way for them to try and save like streaming space and stuff like that. Because do you think adding the video, like, do you think having the video there and streaming a video and everyone trying to stream the video with that many people, do you think that would also like clog up server space like that? Or like,
I mean, maybe, but the fact that it wasn't even video and it went so bad, I think
can you videotape?
People are.
You can't do videos on those at all, can you?
No.
It's so weird.
Which is again why choose Twitter, unless it's for the endorsements. Oba said also by cozying up to Musk, DeSantis might be distracting himself from the Davos guys who were leaking endorsements, likely with the intent to cause the whole Republican Party damage. Very possible. So this is great. This is something that we need to keep an eye on going forward. So, as we can, connecting the dots of what happened before, what's happening now, what's going to happen, and if what we think is going to happen doesn't happen, then we have one data point very recently before that to analyze what do we think did happen. So great point, Opus. Great point. Lars and Runes says, one thing I like about DeSantis is his ability to smartly school to get back to dishonest journalists questioning him without calling them names like Trump does. Yeah, I completely agree.
But could he do that with some energy and not just be like, you're wrong because this is the facts and be like, that's what
exactly.
Trump being like, no, you're wrong because you're a loser idiot. That gets people's attention nowadays.
Right. But what I think Lars and Rune is saying is that we've seen that from DeSantis. But it wasn't there. And if it ever is going to show up, your presidential run announcement should be it. That should be it. Opa said there was a couple talks. There was talks a couple of weeks ago that Soros was endorsing DeSantis. Again, not surprised. And so as all of this is happening, and I have more and more and more of a reason to be in the Trump camp, then all of the stuff like this about DeSantis becomes more relevant. Because there's stuff about Trump that I don't like, but if I feel that he's the better guy, then it's kind of like, all right, well, I'm taking this despite all of that. And so when it's flipped, and now it's like DeSantis, and I was already in his camp, and I didn't know a lot about the skeletons in his closet. Something I've talked about a lot is that we have to see what's going to come out. I mean, unless you're unless there was a scandal in Florida that I'm not very familiar with, then we have no idea what's going to happen. Like I said, I think it might be in this clip, but it might be another part of the podcast where they're saying at this point in the 2016 election, was it 2016?
Was it Trump or was it?
It was either no, 2012, I think. That it was going to be definitely Giuliani and Clinton, and well, that didn't happen.
No. But you can definitely, you're going to see these Soros types and stuff like that. You're going to, if there's no good Democrat option and Biden stays in, you're going to see them going for Ron DeSantis because he's
part of the establishment.
Well, that and Biden is losing money for all U.S. companies. Like every company is losing money. Like it's not just Bud Light or Target. It's all these companies are losing money, and they're going to try and get someone in that's going to try and get their money back for them.
Facts. All right.
Yeah, it didn't really happen.
Just like softball city.
And then after the crash, it just was just not good.
I mean,
it's just like, I mean, a lot of people left. That took a lot of wind out of the sails. I mentioned it yesterday, dude. Yesterday, we wanted to lead the show off with the Target story.
Yep.
Because now it's getting crazier. Target is apparently the CEO issued a statement saying, yeah, we're going to get rid of a bunch of stuff, but we're going to double down. Basically saying we're going to try and hide this from the general public. But instead, I'm like, okay, they basically released this launch video, so we have to cover it. But then what is there to cover today if not just the same thing we already know? Okay, dude's running for president. Then, of course, we got lucky in that they failed. So,
yeah, and that's a good point. If he didn't fail, then this wouldn't be that big of a news story because it was already announced. If it was a surprise thing, then like obviously, you know, the whatever parties that need the paperwork and whatever, that would be fine. Because it's not like everybody pays attention to the ins and outs. And like, I'm sure a lot of people don't even know that Ron DeSantis even announced at this point. Well, so it's not like they couldn't have, you know, kept that under wraps. And you're like, oh, snap. And then it would have been something that, oh, you missed this. Now you're inducing FOMO. It's like, oh, I got to see this DeSantis guy.
Imagine you see Ron DeSantis on TV signing the papers, and then instantly he walks out of the mainstream cameras and instantly walks over to a live stream with Elon Musk where they just talk about policies. Imagine how much better that would have been instead of just getting on there acting like he's going to announce again that he's running for president. Like, we already know. Like, we know what you're going to do. Like,
right. And that's the big thing, is that the announcement has to bring something new. You know, we know that the official announcement is going to come after people already know that you're going to run. But, you know, if they don't get to it, you know, we're almost back to where we were. I do want to pull up the Obama speech to compare it if they don't talk about it.
I shouldn't. It's a little mean. It's a little mean. They did do the space. They did get the message out. They did get the announcement. But I do feel like we got news out of the fact that they kind of screwed up the launch and they lost the majority of the audience that was ready for this announcement.
But it was like a snooze fest.
Yeah, it was a snooze fest.
I mean, like you
really
got
bad.
in there and you're like, wow, there's nothing interesting here. You got to come with some.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like,
no bangers. I left relatively quickly.
The only news that was there was it being done on a space. Everyone knew that DeSantis was going to run. DeSantis didn't have anything. There was no pizzazz to his actual speech or anything.
Yeah,
so
like
really
come with something.
So it's like it really was the interesting thing was the fact that it was on Twitter for the first time and then it went bad.
They ruined it. Could you imagine if Elon abruptly launched a space and then said Ron DeSantis is making a big announcement? That would have crashed all of Twitter way faster than this would have. So maybe they're trying to avoid that. But even in that regard, DeSantis really.
Opus says, I know one thing. If Republicans can't eke out a win in 2024, then I don't expect to see them win another election cycle in any meaningful way in my lifetime. I agree. I agree.
Your only chance of winning in 2028, I feel, has just entered the race and probably lost all the MAGA votes for 2028. So there's one down.
Yeah, I think that he needs to, I think he quickly needs to acquiesce, realize like, okay, whether or not I was going to win or not, I messed up. So now I should back off and just go full MAGA. I know we said never go full MAGA, but bro,
he needs to, I don't think he should. I think he needs to find his strong suit differences against Trump that he has with the MAGA people. And only push that and stop trying to fight with Trump. Whenever Trump or anything says anything, just ignore it. Just only say nice things about Trump.
Well, see, I don't know, because the idea is that Trump's done if he wins, Trump's done. So there's no reason that Trump wouldn't endorse DeSantis in 2028.
Can he not be VP if he wins in this?
Yeah, I think so, right?
So he could be his VP. He could be DeSantis's VP.
I don't know if he would do that, but yeah, I definitely could. So let's just take a look.
Amazing.
Yeah, that would be dope. So let's take a look at a little clip from. We're not going to watch the whole speech, but just the final parts of Obama's speech from February of 2007.
Get the goosebumps ready, boys.
What'd you say?
Get the goosebumps ready, boys. This is a good ass speech.
Yeah, this is what a speech should be like, whether you like the politics or not. This is what we're talking about.
And welcome, Barack Obama.
It's a little quiet.
It was here in Springfield where North, South, and East, and West come together that I was reminded of the essential decency of the American people. In the shadow, where I came to believe that through this decency, we can build.
This is a terrible mic.
Yeah, let's try this one.
The old state capitol.
It's a little better.
Lincoln once called on a house divided to stand together, where common hopes and common dreams still live. I stand before you today to announce my candidacy for President of the United States of America.
Yeah. Before the gray hairs.
Yep.
This was his Optimus Prime.
And listen to the people, the amount of time that's being spent on letting people enjoy this is huge. It's all about optics. It's all about optics. Let's count it. From his last word.
My candidacy for President of the United States of America.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And now they're chanting 21, 22. And then he's the one to quiet them down.
Now listen,
Based Obama. I never thought I'd say it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I recognize
That's a good opus.
there is a certain presumptuousness in this, a certain audacity to this announcement. I know that I haven't spent a lot of time learning the ways of Washington, but I've been there long enough to know that the ways of Washington must change.
Can you pause that for a second?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay, good.
done.
Good.
Yeah.
Just that the similarity between that him. I haven't been here long, but I've been here long enough. That gives me the same energy as Donald Trump saying, "Oh, how do I know that this system is corrupt? It's because I use the corruption to get ahead." That gives me that same energy that Trump.
Exactly. So it says, I disagree that it needs to go full MAGA. I think every president should want to make America great again. Letting the Dems turn that into a slur is a big mistake. MAGA can be a slur on the left side, but the minute the right lets it become a slur or become sensitive about it, then it's done. So I'm not even using it that way. I'm saying that he should find a way to fully align himself with Trump, whether it's to be the VP this time around or to get the endorsement in 2028. I'm not saying he needs to adopt all the policies. I'm saying he needs to play on that team.
Dude, a Trump DeSantis this ticket, and then next ticket DeSantis Trump.
Dude, that would be dope.
That'd be crazy.
That would be dope. But again, the idea is, the idea is we want to have a balance between that. Even though the VP doesn't really do much, again, it's all about optics. The only reason, go ahead.
I see Donald Trump, like when Donald Trump says something smart, you know it's smart. When he says something stupid, you know it's stupid. If DeSantis listens to what he says and takes his opinions, and he listens to, and you hear something, Donald Trump says something smart, you go with that. Like Donald Trump either says something really dumb or really smart. You just listen to what he says, and when he says something really smart, you go with it. DeSantis, if he says something really dumb, then come up with a new idea that you go with. That's what I would do with that. As if Donald Trump was my VP, I would listen to what he has. He has a year in, or he has 4 years in already.
Yeah, man. I think that it's just so, they were talking a lot about the media training, and I just don't know at this point if you've already decided to make the announcement.
It's too late.
I would assume that you've already gone through some of the training. And if that's what you look like after the training, then that's not a good look. And if you haven't done the training, why haven't you done the training?
I think like I don't know why he hasn't done any of that training at all. Like you speak publicly for a living right now, and I feel like this is like he must have fired somebody or something, and someone came in with different ideas for him and got in his head. Because I bet you his plan was, I'm going to stick this out when Trump's out of here, so I don't get no bad mouth or anything from Trump. Just stay on Trump's good side, and then you get the MAGA vote. You'll get the MAGA vote in 28 if you don't say anything bad about Trump. Your policies are the exact same.
Yep. Well said. All right, guys. So, I mean, I think that's, pretty much where we are standing right now, that, the announcement was a horrible, horrible failure, even though he said all the right things, which in my opinion makes it even worse, because if he said, kind of things that you're like, I don't really know, then that could allude to why it didn't go well. But he said all of the right things, and he just didn't say enough. There was a lot more that he
wasn't enthusiastic.
Right.
The only thing new that we learned was his Bitcoin, like ideology. Really, I think that was the only thing new that I've heard from Ron DeSantis out of that, new policy.
And in the grand scheme of things, most people are no coiners. Most people don't have Bitcoin, so it's cool, but you're not winning hearts and minds. Opus said, for me, the spaces thing would be like a president in the 70s announcing in the papers instead of going on TV. Like, why? Yeah. It's all about.
I wouldn't say the newspapers in the 70s, but it's like getting on the telegram.
Morse code.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, did you guys, the one dude that still got, did you guys hear that Ron DeSantis is running for president? It's like, I'm watching the color TV right now, bro. Like,
I'm watching the color TV. Oh, good one. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I want to give you the floor again. Let the people know where they can find you and what you do.
Yeah. Melted Mind Media. Come check me out on YouTube. My Twitter's at Melted Mind Media. Also, I talk a lot of politics, a lot of opinion pieces. I'm working on a lot of video ideas right now, and just come check me out.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me, brother.
Thank you, Jesus.
Definitely, I just dropped the link to his channel. You guys definitely go check him out. I'll see you in Discord.
See you later, buddy.
Peace. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot here. Opus says it has to be a pound of flesh for endorsements, otherwise he's clueless and deserves to lose. I would say either way, if this is how he's operating, even whether it's a pound of flesh for endorsements or not, he deserves to lose. I'm so disappointed. I'm so disappointed. Not disappointed in him, because I don't, care about him as a person. I care about him in the extent that he can help my life, your life, and our lives. But I'm disappointed that it was a lost opportunity. It was a lost opportunity. And I mean, he can regain that ground, but now he's fighting an even more uphill battle than he already was. So what do you guys think? Is this too much? Is DeSantis done? Can he recover from this? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you, everybody who was hanging out live. And a big shout out to Mark Peterson, the sponsor of the stream. I know this is an impromptu one, but I am still going live tomorrow, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and dropping videos every single day. And guys, memberships are now available if you would like to support the channel, and some levels getting some secret members only stuff. Hit up the memberships. Thank you so much for hanging out. Until next time, guys, this has been Morty, and I am Lutch, your host, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. We are out of here. Peace.